Hello and welcome to Sweet Shot Games Dota 2 Beginner's Guide Part 2. Here I will be covering how to learn the game from a beginner's perspective. So if you're new to the game, hopefully this will give you a better understanding of how to play it. First of all, there are two sides of the game. There's the strategy and then the execution. The strategy is all about your knowledge of the game, and that can be built up through playing the game, but mostly by going online and learning from guides and other sources such as Dota 2 Wiki, which gives you tons of information on each of the heroes and the items and other gameplay mechanics. So be sure to work on learning as much as you can about the game and all of its mechanics, and that's something that you can do outside the game. However, there are some kind of intangibles that you learn through the gameplay as you go along, and you'll just kind of pick it up as you play. So this game definitely has a very high learning curve and can be very difficult to play. However, if you stick with it and apply what you learn and critique yourself, then you will get better at the game. If that seems like too much work for you, this might not be the game for you. And then, of course, there's the execution, which is how you execute the gameplay mechanics. So this will kind of go along with your reaction time, how quickly you're able to react to certain situations, and also it relies on your map awareness, how well you're able to keep your eyes on your surroundings at all time. It's very tough not to get tunnel vision at times, especially if you're playing a hard carry and you're just trying to farm as well as you can. But the key to map awareness is to check your mini map as often as possible. And then another aspect of execution is how well you're able to work with your team. And teamwork is extremely important in this game, as the team that works together the best often comes out on top. So anyways, I am going to assume that you are new to this game. And so as a new player, there are some basics that you have to learn, I believe, before you even jump into a matchmaking game. When I first started playing this game, I was playing practice games exclusively for 2 weeks before I ever jumped into a matchmaking game. And by the time I jumped into a matchmaking game, I had a 2-to-1 win-loss ratio at that time, until I reached probably about 100 wins. So yes, practice games are very useful for helping you to learn the game. If you do that before jumping into a matchmaking game, you'll be much better off. And again, if that doesn't sound like something you're interested in, then this might not be the game for you. So before I jump into a practice game, let's take a look at some of the heroes that I would recommend playing as a beginner. If you're new to the game, typically supports are the best way to go. That's because that'll give you a really good all-around view of how the game is supposed to be played. There are a lot of different things that you can do and learn to do as a support. For instance, even last hitting as a support can improve your last hitting as a carry. There are 5 roles in the game, and these are numbered 1 through 5. 1 being a carry role, and 5 being the support role. Just because the 5 role, a support, is lower number doesn't mean it's any less important. You need all 5 in order to win. So it's best to learn the support role first. And so here I will show you a lot of the easier supports to learn to play. I would highly recommend Lich as a beginning support hero. That's because he has an ability that allows him to deny creeps, as you will see in the game. And this also gives him mana in return. Another hero I would highly recommend is Lion. He's very effective with only 2 spells. He has 2 crowd control abilities, which allow you to harass your opponents and help your laning partner to get a kill. However, if you like to be very aggressive and need something more tanky, look for a support like Jakiro. He has some really good ranged abilities, and right now he's probably one of the best supports in the game. Again, he has 2 crowd control abilities that allow him to gank opponents early on, as well as having a high HP. And then finally, another high HP support hero, Ogre Magi, is very simple to play. He has a really good stun ability and a slow. However, he does have a melee attack range, but you can play him mostly as a ranged hero. So now I will create a practice game. Go to the Create Lobby tab, go to Edit Settings, and then click on Fill Empty Slots with Bots. And you can change the difficulty here. Of course, I would recommend starting out with the passive difficulty, and then as you learn the game and progress, you can raise the difficulty. Then click Save Setting, click Create Lobby, and join slot. And then start the game. Alright, so there's a lot to cover here, so please bear with me. I'm going to begin by picking Lich, as I think he is the best support hero to start with. So as you can see, I have 4 teammates who are bots, and then I will be going up against these 5 bots. As a support, you typically want to buy the courier, which is 150 gold. This courier allows you to purchase items at the shop and then bring them out to you in lane. And so when you purchase the animal courier, it'll go into your slot. Then select it and it'll appear on the map. Next, you probably want to buy some wards, some observer wards. These will give you vision on an area where you currently do not have it. As you can see here, this area of the map is fogged over, what we call fog of war, where we do not have vision, and when there are enemies in these areas, these dark spots, you will not be able to see them. So observer wards are very good to purchase as a support to give your team more map control and help your team with map awareness. Next, you want to buy a Tango, a Salve, and as a support, you might want to buy a Clarity Pot or 2. However, as Lich, you will see that with his ability Sacrifice, you'll be getting mana back in return, so you'll have no need for Clarity. So in this case, I can get another Tango for my hard carry. The Tango allows you to eat a tree and heal up for 115 HP over a duration of 16 seconds, and you get 3 charges. Healing Salve gives you 400 HP over 10 seconds, so it's a little bit better and gives you more HP a lot quicker. However, it costs 10 gold more and if you're attacked during this time, it will be dispelled. The clarity potions are similar to the healing salve, whereas it can be dispelled if you are attacked during this duration. So it will restore 100 mana over 30 seconds. So be careful when you're using these two items not to get attacked during that time. So now that you have your starting items, put a point into your sacrifice ability. This will allow us to deny one of our own creeps. Start by denying one of the creeps for either the mid lane or the solo top lane. This will move the creep wave back towards them, giving them a better starting point. Now that you're in lane, you can begin by auto-attacking your own creeps. Default is A and then click. If you hit A on your keyboard and then left click on one of the creeps, you will start attacking. Make sure you take off the auto attack because you do not want to auto attack the creeps that are in lane. Next, you can put a point into your Q and completely skip the ice armor. When your sacrifice comes off cooldown, try to deny the creep with the most amount of HP in your lane, preferably one of the melee creeps. Denying these creeps will keep the wave closer to your tower and keep you and your ally much safer. This tower here will attack any enemies that come too close to it. That is why this is referred to as the safe lane. As you can see, for your team on the Radiant side, the creeps run up very close to this tower, allowing you and your ally to stay safe underneath it. When you level up, put another point into your sacrifice. Now that my creeps have moved forward a little bit, we are a little less safe and more open for ganks. Opponents can come from the fog of war without us seeing. So a good place to start with putting an observer ward is around here on this point. This way it'll give you vision through the river and through the side of your jungle, so that if your creep wave does push forward too much, you will be able to see anybody coming through here trying to gank you. This here is the rune spawn location, and every 2 minutes a rune will spawn, and this will give you a little bit of a buff. This is very important for your solo mid to have control over. That is why it's good for your observer ward to be placed either here or here. That will give you vision on the rune and allow your solo mid to have control over it. This area here is considered the jungle, and these are jungle creeps. And what we can do is we can pull these creeps into the lane here and aggro our laning creeps. When you pull these creeps into your laning creeps, and this will take a little bit of practice to get used to, it'll aggro the laning creeps into the jungle creep, and the laning creeps will begin to kill these off. This will pull your laning creeps back towards your tower, making it safer for your carry to farm. Try to last hit the jungle creeps so that you get the golden XP for it. As you can see, by pulling a single jungle creep camp, your laning creeps then begin to push. And this can actually be good if you want to try to take out your opponent's tower. So if you want to keep your laning creeps as close to your tower as possible, you're going to want to stack the jungle creeps. And this means by waiting here till the timer reaches 53. Once the timer reaches 53, you can auto attack the jungle camp and then run away to the left here. This will pull the jungle creeps away from the camp, and should allow it to stack. So as you can see now, I have even more jungle creeps in here. This way, when I pull my jungle creeps into my laning creep, they will get completely killed off, and I won't be pushing anymore, but rather I will have the laning creeps pushed up to our tower, allowing my carry to farm safely. Again, try to get the last hits on the jungle creeps, giving you some extra gold, allowing you to purchase some more team support items. So as you can see now, the laning creeps are closer to our tower, and our carry is able to farm without being harassed by the opponents. I can pull this again and kill off even more creeps. Now that we have some more gold, we can purchase a flying courier for our team if they haven't gotten one already. This costs 220 gold and upgrades your courier to a flying courier, making him much faster. You can also purchase more observer wards to give you more vision on the map. There's a total of 2 in stock. These are very cheap, so it's good to get as many of these as possible. A sentry ward will give you vision on invisible units. This is very important when fighting heroes such as Bounty Hunter and Ricky and other invisible units. This can also be used to de-ward the opponent. When you drop down a sentry ward, you'll be able to see any invis units within its range. Another good item for a support to pick up is a Smoke of Deceit. This only costs 100 gold, and what it does is it will make all of your surrounding allies invisible for a duration of 40 seconds, or until they come within 1025 range of an enemy hero or tower. It also gives you bonus speed of 15%, which allows you to gank your opponents very easily. Now that I'm level 6, I have my ultimate Chain Frost. Get a point into this whenever you can. This deals massive damage and will bounce several times. So try to get this on 2 enemy heroes that are standing close to each other, but away from laning creeps, as it will bounce to the laning creeps if they're too close. Another good item to get is a Town Portal Scroll. This will allow you to teleport to any ally structure on your map. So this is a great way to get back to base quickly or get back out into lane quickly. Once you have enough gold for boots, that is also a good item to purchase. This will give you extra movement speed, allowing you to move quicker around the map. As Lich, you can then upgrade your boots to Tranquil Boots. This here is the side shop. This is where you can purchase items while in lane. However, as you can see, you can't purchase all items here, like the Arena Protection. So this is where you have to get your courier to load up and fly your items out to you. As you can see here, there are 3 enemies now in my lane. And just to give you a feel for what the ultimate can do and what it looks like, as you can see, it does a ton of damage, and it didn't even bounce to them every single time. So if you can catch some heroes out away from their laning creeps, you can do tons of damage and pick up some kills. Q is your Frost Blast, and that deals damage and slows down the enemy. And as you can see here, when you sacrifice one of your creeps, you gain a lot of mana back. This is very useful for being able to harass your opponent. Now that I have Tranquil Boots, I move much faster and I have more armor and HP regen. Throughout the game, continue to purchase observer boards for your team and put them in locations on the map such as the rune spots, the Roshan pit, and other high points on the map that will give you plenty of vision. Some good late game points on the map to put a observer board is here on this hill and over here on this hill. When you place an observer board on a hill, it will give you a lot more vision, allowing you to see over and through the trees. As you can see here, when you place an observer board next to a tree, it doesn't allow you to see through to the other side. So it's best to try to place your observer boards in open areas. That will give you the most vision as possible. Another item you'll want to get as a support is a mechanism. This gives you +5 all attributes, +5 armor, bonus HP regen of 4. It also has a passive aura of bonus HP regen for allies in the area. And then it also has an active, which restores 250 HP and gives +2 armor in the area for your allies. This is a really good team item since it helps you a lot in team fights. The ultimate goal in Dota 2 is to protect your ancient, which is this structure right here, and to destroy your opponent's ancient, which is this structure right here. Alright, I think that'll do it for my beginner's guide part 2. Thanks for watching. I hope this helps. And if you have any suggestions or questions, please leave a comment below and subscribe to my channel. Also, you can send me an email at sweetshot3@gmail.com. Remember, it's always easier to learn with a friend. So, if you would like some coaching, send me a friend request on Steam, or send me an email with your username and I'll send you a friend invite. There's a lot to learn and take in, but if you keep with it and learn and practice, eventually you'll get the hang of it, and Dota 2 can be very rewarding. Once again, I'd like to thank you for watching, and check out some of the links below.